I think it's very important that, I state to you that I do not have any bias, or this program does not have any bias whatsoever.
No, I'm not talking about you. I'm talking about Nigerians who seem to be worried.
Mr. Azuatalam, I think it's very important that we put that point across clearly to you. That is on the one hand. And then two, we also happen to have a video recording. We have more than a press statement. We have a video recording of the Army spokesperson addressing the press over this particular matter. So we're asking questions.
When you were playing it also.
Great. So we're asking questions based on what we said. We never did say that he did not submit the copies. We're saying the Army did say, as you rightly attested, that they do not have these copies. Do you think that it puts to rest if they're able to produce certificates? Would you like to see the certificate of the presidential candidate of the APC, so this can be put laid to rest once and for all?
Anyway, there are issues that we don't have control over. If the military has come to say we actually have records of this certificate, I think we have the information in this certificate, but for one reason or the other, at that time, we are not able to keep record of whatsoever happened. So at this moment, even though we have the information in the certificate, we cannot produce the certificate. We won't go and, I don't know, are we going to kill the military, or are we going to bring back what happened in the 1960s? I think a rational person can understand it and take it from there. But what is important to have been clear is that General Muhammad Buhari submitted his credentials, and he met the requirement, not just about having the certificate. Apart from having the certificate, he met the requirement of having the minimum number of credits that is required to be enrolled in the army. And that should satisfy everybody.
The question I asked you, just a moment, Mr. Azuatalam, the question I asked is, would you, as a supporter of, an ardent supporter of the APC, like to see the certificate of your presidential candidate so you can put to rest the doubts of every doubt in Thomas as to whether or not your candidate has the basic school certificate?
Like I said, personally, I've put to rest the doubt. Of course, I never had the doubt. So it is not about me, it's about people. Yeah, if they had been able to produce it, I think it would have been okay, so that those who do not want to listen to the voice of reason can also. But I bet you, if they had produced it, some people would have still gone ahead to argue. Because those who are arguing about this, it's not because they think that Muhammad Buhari doesn't have a living school certificate. It is because they want something to distract the people. So even if they have produced it, I still believe that those people will still go ahead and continue to make life. Afterwards, they will look for another thing to start making noise with. So I think what the military has done, which I encourage them, I appreciate them for doing, we should be able to put all this down to a stop.
Yeah, but Jasper, are we assuming that it is the army that is to submit his credentials to INEC?
He saw an affidavit. I don't know what people argue. Even in the Electoral Act, there is the provision for swearing an affidavit. If there is no provision to swear an affidavit in the Electoral Act, he would not have sworn an affidavit, and INEC would not have accepted it. That was an option, to swear an affidavit, and he did. So the onion lies on us to verify what he has sworn in the affidavit, which has given rise to all these things, and which I am sure that every rational institution or Nigerian should have been satisfied from all this verification and all this information that has been brought out.
Have you spoken to him personally about this matter?
Like I said, this is not personal. This has gone to the public domain, and I want to treat it strictly as that. But as a close person to General Muhammad Buhari, I've never had a doubt on his educational qualifications and credentials. Of course, I don't know where this is coming. General Muhammad Buhari never claimed that he had a PhD. He never claimed he had an MSc in whatever. General Buhari stated it clearly that immediately he finished his secondary school. I posted General Buhari's profile in many instances. In the APC presidential primaries, I was opportune to liaise with him to write his profile. And in the flag off of the presidential rally in Port Harcourt too, I still had the privilege to write his profile, liaising with him. And in all those things, there's no place he claimed he had a PhD or MSc. He stated it clearly that he joined the military after his secondary school. And all other qualifications that he got it from the military because the military sponsored him to other schools that he attended. And I can tell you authoritatively, a lot of Nigerians have made inquiries in many of the schools. The profile is in the public domain. I put it on social media. It's in many of our e-book.
Well, anyway, I think Chamberlain had to ask you that question. Hello, let me come in here, Mr. Azuatalam. We had to ask you that question because are you aware if the military, about 48 hours ago, passed on some documents to General Muhammadu Buhari?
I didn't get you.
Your closeness to General Buhari is making us ask the next question. Are you aware if the military had passed on some documents to the general about 48 hours ago?
I've sent documents to him.
Maybe documents about his credentials for the military.
Are you asking if I'm aware that
Yes.
the military has sent documents to him or what? I didn't get you.
That's the question.
Okay. For the past 1 week, we have been on the campaign train, and by yesterday we returned very late. And if anything of such has happened, I'm not aware because we have been on the campaign train. We have not even come back to know what is happening. But I am sure that we have requested that the military should produce a document about a few days ago. So if they have actually sent something or anything, I have not been informed. But the only thing I can assure is that we have met official first through his chief of Colonel Hamid Ali, requesting that the military should produce his document publicly. And which I have the thinking that it is the reason the military came out publicly in that press conference. But if they have actually sent it to the house, I don't live in this house, I've not been informed.
But it's not the military, is it the military's duty to present it publicly? I thought that he would apply, get it, and then maybe go to INEC and submit it, or if he wants to address a press conference to just address this matter once and for all, he will. But saying that the army should address a conference for it, there are those who think that they're not sure that that is the best way to go.
Chamberlain, in the campaign structure, in the Presidential Campaign Council, we have directorates, and then we have directorate of responsible for media. So I don't know whether they will want to issue a press statement or organize a press conference. That is up to them to do. But what I am telling you is that what I know in my own capacity. So like I said before, I don't think there's any other clarification that anybody would want to see, except one who is being biased. What the military has given out, as much as General Muhammadu Buhari is not in charge of the government of this country, what the military has given out is enough to satisfy every curiosity. Even though, like I said, they may not want to go further, not to offend the government they are serving under. But I think it was clear that General Muhammadu Buhari has the certificate.
Well, the thing about it is that facts and figures, I don't know how they intend to offend anybody, but there are facts out there. Everybody should put it out. Whoever is offended, don't you think that that will be the person's cup of tea? But about the certificate matter, do you think that he's eventually going to, maybe in that conference that he will address, will he talk or tender or show that, look, what's all this noise? Look at the certificate everybody is talking about, and let's move on.
Chamberlain, I don't know if you were born in the 1960s. Me, I wasn't born then, and I'm not also a military. I didn't.
Jasper, you don't have to be born in the 1950s to know what happened in the 1950s in this 21st century, Jasper.
The point I want to make. There are standard practices in all institutions, and he had said that he submitted his document to the military. If this is not a standard practice, the military wouldn't have come to say, we want to search for the records we want to provide record of all the generals that serve under us. All institutions have their practices, standard practices. And I think what he said and the claim he made was not in any way against the standard practice of the military. Because if it was, they would have come to say, it is not practicable, we cannot have anybody's document. But they did not refute that claim. They only said they can provide whatever document that any military officer that serves under them had. And that they came up in this case and said they have problems with their records in the 1960s, but that they can confirm that General Buhari met the requirement, even in having credit in the relevant survey. Even me, those information they released, I didn't have them. I wasn't aware that General Buhari had credit in some of those subjects they mentioned. So from the military, I heard it. I never went to him and said, how many credits do you have in your YX certificate or whatever? But the military has come up with that, showing that they even have more information than we have. All
right, Jasper, there's a question for you here. Since you're close to him, Ross wants to know, he says, Buhari and Shehu Yaradua are classmates. How come Yaradua joined the army in 1959 and Buhari in 1961? Has he mentioned any of such things to you?
Like I said, I wasn't born then. I'm not aware. The truth is that most of the things like people say, they don't have any proof for it. They don't have any record to show that. So this is maybe one of the things that people say, I think in hearsay, there is no record to prove that.
All right, Jasper. Jasper Azuatalam is the member of the APC Presidential Council. Thank you very much for speaking with us today.
Thank you very much. You're welcome.
All right, we'll be back after the break. Please join us again.